What up, YouTube? It's Jay Coffee Talk back again, and let's have a conversation about Mystikal, right? As I'm sure everyone done seen, Vlad has an interview up with Mystikal. We'll be getting Mystikal snippets, little segments for the next month or so. Y'all know how Vlad does, and I don't know. This tells me Mystikal is attempting to make a comeback. You know, maybe we'll see a media run from him with a lot of appearances, or maybe he's just trying to sit down with Vlad and get it all out, you know, have an in-depth interview. And real quick side conversation, Vlad is selling channel memberships, you know. He never has until this point, I don't believe. Maybe he has, but it was really funny to me. I don't know if anyone else found this funny, that for perks of a channel membership, you get ad-free interviews, which is cool, of course, but also these emojis. He put up a community post and everything. It was like, yo, get your Vlad TV membership with these exclusive emojis you can use in YouTube comment threads. And everyone was like, yo, Vlad, those ain't emojis. Those are little pictures. And I don't know, there's pictures of Vlad's on there. There's one of Mystikal. It's just little pictures from all his interviews. Kid from Kid and Play. I don't know why there's one that says Vlad TV crossed out and then says Glad TV. But I don't know. Everyone was like telling Vlad in the comments, yo, these are not emojis. But anyways, getting back to Mystikal, we got to talk a little bit about him, break it all down. Make sure to hit the comments, everyone. Share your favorite Mystikal tracks. You know, Mystikal, very talented. I'd say an original type MC. Has a lot of energy. He had a couple collabs out there with Busta Rhymes that were tough, in my opinion. You know, them two both with the speed, the high octane energy going back and forth and all that, made for great collabs. They did a couple. But he made a lot of great music, you know, pushed on after leaving No Limit. You know, found his most success with the Let's Get Ready album, going multi-platinum, and, you know, even stayed relevant after that. But we know things got bad for Mystikal.
So you seem to have a lot of fun with your videos and your music.
Right.
Is it important to you to have that much fun?
Right. If I'm having fun, then it's that more easier for you to have fun. You know, if I'm feeling it, then you can feel it.
I'm having a lot of fun watching that. If it was the other way around, I'd have a lot more fun.
That's how it works.
So a question I wanted to ask you as well was that recently Eminem's in trouble with the police. DMX has just gone to jail. Puffy trial as well. What's happening in the hip-hop rap scene? Is it all going to implode? Are you all just going to end up in jail and we're not going to...
Hey, we all human beings. We're not, that don't make us, exempt or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? That's such is life. You just got to try to be careful.
All right, y'all. So you hear that. That's a Mystikal interview from 2001. And it's kind of interesting, right? Because you heard he was being asked about other artists, DMX, you know, their legal situations. And Mystikal's like, yo, you just gotta be careful. No one's perfect. And indeed, no one is perfect, you know. But he definitely was gonna have his own legal problems just 3 years from them. And they were pretty serious charges. Some very disturbing allegations. If y'all remember, Mystikal was charged with the R word and extortion. And the allegations, like I said, very disturbing. You know, it was him and his bodyguards violated a stylist, a hairdresser that used to work with Mystikal. And real quick side conversation, yo, I'm not good at spotting wigs and whatnot, but was Mystikal, we see nowadays he's bald, but I remember people used to always make fun of Mystikal's hairline and be like, yo, that man's always got a bandana or a do-rag on because those are extensions, and he's really bald. So I guess he always needed a really good stylist, hairdresser on deck. But back to what we're talking about, you know, I'm clowning around about his hairline, but this is no laughing matter. You know, it was alleged that she stole $80,000 in checks from Mystikal, and that, you know, because of that, him and his bodyguards violated this woman and videotaped it.
Do you still see the woman who accused you of rape? You think he wants to see her? it might be they friends. I never seen you. I pray for her though. I know, it's all good. It's all good.
That was a cold case though. They was like, look, the girl owe Mystikal some money. Mystikal said, hey, what that mouth do though?
That was on the ledge.
All alleged.
Kids, young people listen to y'all.
Yeah, you're right. All alleged.
That was alleged. That was alleged.
Well, let's talk about the music.
Early in the morning, huh?
Let's talk about the music.
No, I want to go to prison for the
prison. Okay, my fault.
prison.
Right.
So now you have to do 6 years in prison.
So this interview was after Mystikal came home. And you see, he doesn't really want to talk about what happened. And like I said, no one is perfect. People make mistakes. It is what it is. No question. You know what I mean? I'm not a judgmental person. But when it comes to this, these were heinous allegations that he violated a woman. And, when they're talking about that and they're saying, well, that was alleged. Is it alleged? Because let's not forget, Mystikal pled guilty. Mystikal pled guilty to this along with his 2 other bodyguards. It's very disturbing stuff. They searched his home. They found a tape of it, which is some pretty twisted and sick as well. Like, they violated a woman and taped it. And I just got to wonder how everyone out there feels about this. Like, can you support Mystikal? What do you think about this situation? Do you think it's hindered him from having a comeback at all? You know what I mean? I always say on J Coffee Talk channel, people who do sick things like this, like, they, in my opinion, need to be put on blast, man. But when it comes to this Mystikal situation, it's always been a lot of people say they feel he was set up. But like I said, he pled guilty to this. He got 6 years. There was word that he possibly was trying to work out a deal to get probation. But it was said that when the judge saw the tape, he was like, yo, that was some foul-ish right there. I got to hit y'all with some time. And it's just kind of strange, too. Mystikal never will speak on this in interviews. And you heard him say there when he was talking to them at the Breakfast Club that there's still a gag order. And I just don't see how that could possibly be true, because they're like, yo, it's over and done with. You did your time. You can speak on it. And he's like, no, there's still a gag order in place. And normally gag orders are put out by a judge when a case is pending and ongoing, for fear that they won't be able to have a fair trial because, things will get put out there that will cloud everyone's judgment about what was ongoing. But once again, like I said, Mystikal didn't even go to trial. They copped out and took a plea. And yes, he had to come home and register and all that. So he took that deal knowing that he would have to register on that list and everything. And I don't know, man. When it comes to this kind of stuff, a lot of times I find it hard to believe that innocent people would plead guilty to doing that kind of stuff. Because let's not forget, when someone takes a plea in court to, a felony like that, they have to, in their own words, explain what they did. You know what I mean? So Mystikal pled out, said what he did, and had to register and all that when he came home. I don't know. Like, hit the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about that. Do you still support Mystikal? I mean, do you find that to be some sick-ish? And also, I'm really wondering how this interview with Vlad will go down. I haven't watched none of it yet, right? But I just wonder, with the way we know Mystikal don't want to answer questions or speak on the situation, and we know the way that Vlad wants to ask people about certain situations and kind of just won't let up off it, how this will go down. Will they get to the bottom of everything? You know what I mean? What do y'all think? So hit the comments with your thoughts on all that. Can you still support Mystikal? Do you think he can have a successful comeback? I mean, let's not forget when he came home in 2010, he got with Cash Money. He signed with Cash Money, which was interesting, being that he was formerly signed to No Limit in the history between No Limit and Cash Money. And Cash Money was still pumping heavy, and he couldn't get his career going with that. You know what I mean? All he's really ever had as far as music, is some guest appearances, a couple singles and whatnot from 2010 all the way till now. You know, when he was locked up, he was still signed to Jive, and they put out a couple compilation albums. But that's it. So can Mystikal make a comeback? Do you think this, with his past and everything, ever is what held him back from having the comeback? And, you know, I got to point out, too, that a lot of people get it confused that Mystikal, you know, beat a case before, but it wasn't this case. He went down and did time for this case. He had another similar charge to the R word and kidnapping back in 2017 that he ended up beating. You know what I mean? He came home from this 6-year bid in 2010. In 2012, he had a domestic incident, you know, where he had to do some time for violating, being on parole or probation or whatever. And then in 2017, he turned himself in, had to sit for like a year and a half, then posted the $3 million bail, facing the R word and kidnapping charges, and did beat that case. You know, his co-defendants ended up taking pleas, you know, and getting prison time. One of them said, you know, was charged with obstruction for trying to contact the victim and claim the victim was lying. They got an obstruction charge. But Mystikal did indeed end up beating that case. But that's a whole nother incident. So now, with all this time passed, can Mystikal, you know, make a comeback, get back to that level of success that he had before? Do you support him? Will you support him? Did you watch any of the Vlad interviews yet? What's your thought about all that? Let's talk. Hit the comments with it all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Daily content, guys, music, news, sports, and more. I'll catch you on the next one. And I'm gone. Peace.